You already know this. Snipers and Akimbo Deagles got nerfed, and we're currently living in an SMG meta in Season 4 of COD Mobile. As we all know, QQ9 was crowned king of SMGs in Season 3, especially if you're going for an aggressive type of play. But since the update, a new challenger has emerged. The QXR got a huge and significant buff that gives the QQ9 a run for its money. After some digging and collecting data, I can finally give you QQ9 versus QXR. How's it going? It's Kith, and today we're going to compare arguably the two best SMGs in the game right now. If you're new here to the channel, I will be streaming Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, both here on YouTube and on Trovo. If you enjoy this type of content where I compare guns and let you decide on which is better, leave a like. Without wasting more of your time, let's get on to the comparison. Take note that for the video testing of the QXR, I am running the Enhanced Bolt perk. First up, we're looking at the base ADS speed of both weapons. If you aren't familiar with the term ADS, it means aim down sight. Simply put, we're comparing how fast can you actually put up your gun and aim at the enemy. In a fast-paced game like Call of Duty Mobile, reaction time is king. Meaning, the time it takes to pull up your gun and aim at the enemy is really important if you're looking to take the first shot. Let's look at how they compare side by side while the data tested from Mrroey will be shown on the screen. The QQ9 takes 13 frames to ADS while the QXR takes 15 frames to complete the animation. As for sprint out values on the QQ9, you get 6 frames more for hip and 3 frames more for ADS. On the QXR, you add 8 frames more for hip and 6 more frames for ADS. If we're looking at it at first glance, the QXR is a few frames slower than the QXR. This makes the QQ9 the more ideal gun for you if you're the type of person that prioritizes ADS speed if you like playing aggressive. But of course, you can build your gun any way you want. That's why it's a good idea to stack ADS attachments for the QXR if you're playing on a close ranged map. The QQ9 takes a point on this one, and don't worry because we have a lot more to go through. As for SMGs, people would want the gun with more mobility. Being an aggressive player, you would want to be able to run as fast as you can while you lurk around the map. Now that holding a tactical or lethal equipment can be slower than when holding a primary weapon in your hand, having a faster SMG might be better for you. Strafing speed also falls under mobility. How fast do you want to be strafing while you're in a gunfight? Let's look at the video comparison along with the stats. The QQ9 has a sprint speed of 6.43 meters per second, while you can run with the QXR at 6.47 meters per second. For strafing speeds, we have 3.91 meters per second for the QQ9 and 3.94 meters per second for the QXR. Knowing this, you may now choose which SMG you want to run with. Although QXR takes a point on this one, it's not that big of a deal, knowing that you can customize your mobility with each SMG using Gunsmith. We can consider that mobility between both SMGs are nearly identical, but it's entirely up to you which feels faster. A huge shout out to Dragonizer for providing these stats. Submachine guns have this reputation of having harder to control recoil than most guns. That's because SMGs usually have a higher and faster fire rate, with the QXR notably being the second fastest firing weapon in the game next to the Fennec according to Path. If you want more info on his Season 4 patch notes, it will be linked down below. With that being said, let's look at the recoil patterns. I equipped the 45 round mag attachment on the QQ9, so it will be closer to the QXR's base mag with 40 bullets. Looking at the QQ9, it goes up and to the right, and it stops at a certain point vertically and just goes to the right. Easy, right? With the QXR, it goes up and to the left. From there, it will keep going upwards until you eventually run out of bullets. Putting them side by side, you can notice that the QQ9 reaches the midline first, meaning it has more vertical kick than the QXR. However, you can see that the QQ9 stops going vertically just as it gets past that midline along the X-axis. From there, it only goes to the right until you run out of bullets. As for this one, I might give the point to the QXR because of the uniformity of the pattern, unlike the QQ9, which stops at a certain point and just goes to the right. While the QQ9 didn't receive any significant changes, COD Mobile decided to add an aim shake on the iron sights of this SMG. Some people can handle the aim shake, while for some it was a deal breaker for them and decided to switch to the QXR. Looking over the side-by-side comparison, you can see that not only the iron sights of the QQ9 shakes, the screen noticeably shakes more than the QXR, which has a higher fire rate than the QQ9. Now you may be able to understand why some people prefer not to use the QQ9 default iron sights, or if you're on Garena, you've probably put on a red dot sight on both of these SMGs, so I'll show you the aim shake of both guns with the red dot as well. With the red dot on, we eliminate some of the visual shake on the reticle, but the QQ9 still appear to be more shaky than the QXR with the red dot. QXR takes the point for visual stability. This is probably the most important part of this video because some people mostly care about the time to kill values of a weapon and completely ignore the other aspects of the gun. I can't blame nor will I judge them, although going with the gun that has the faster time to kill doesn't always give you the best results. Because if you did, you should be using the Pharaoh or the MSMC as your main SMG. These two guns, talking about the QQ9 and the QXR, might not be the fastest killing guns, but they certainly offer you some flexibility to challenge ARs in medium range. Let me pull up the time to kill per range of both the QQ9 and the QXR. The values in red text are the guaranteed time to kill values in ranges that has the potential to get the job done faster if you have better aim, or in some cases, if you're cheating on the game and you have aimbot. For the QQ9 from 0 to 11 meters, we can potentially get 220 milliseconds if you can land all your shots on the upper chest. Otherwise, you will get a guaranteed time to kill of 293 milliseconds. For 12 to 16 meters, you can achieve 293 milliseconds. Not going too far, you can get 366 milliseconds of time to kill from 17 to 20 meters, 21 to 27 meters with 439 milliseconds, and going from 28 meters and beyond, you're gonna get 512 milliseconds. Looking over to the QXR, we get 182 to 242 milliseconds from 0 to 9 meters and 242 to 303 milliseconds from 10 to 13 meters. From 17 to 26 meters, we get 3 potential time to kill values. We can get 242 milliseconds if we can hit all upper chest shots, 303 milliseconds with good aim, meaning not much crotch or leg shots, and a guaranteed time to kill of 364 even if you hit all your shots on the enemy's legs or crotch. From 27 meters and beyond, we can get 303 milliseconds if we hit all our headshots, which is nearly impossible unless you're using hacks, and 364 milliseconds if you have good aim and don't hit much leg or crotch shots, and finally a guaranteed 424 milliseconds even if you hit all leg shots. Now, these values are achievable assuming you never miss a shot in the game. Obviously, your aim is not godlike, so you're most probably going to miss some shots, which is why going with a higher fire rate choice like the QXR might be better for you. Pause the video and compare the time to kill per range of both of these guns. Which one would you go for? You can't end the video without me giving you some attachments to try out. For the QQ9, here's an aggressive build. You can use this mainly for face-to-face gunfights, not relying too much on range and focusing on winning in close quarters combat. The second build is for range, if you like challenging ARs in medium ranges all the while taking advantage of the close range lethality of this SMG. For the QXR, similarly, here's an aggressive build focusing mainly on the ADS speed and mobility. We need to have the enhanced bolt perk equipped to keep our time to kill capabilities solid. As for the range build, simply swap the muzzle and barrel attachments for range. That means swapping out the tactical suppressor for monolithic and removing the light barrel short for the OWC Ranger barrel. You can debate that the QXR is better than the QQ9. It is undeniably the meta for aggro SMGs in this season 4 of COD Mobile, but others would still pick the QQ9 over the QXR because of familiarity and its slightly faster base ADS, even though the QXR has the potential to consistently outgun the QQ9 from close to medium ranges. At the end of the day, you still have the choice if you prefer to use either of the two or just put them both in your loadout. This video was made to present you the differences, and it still is your decision on which gun to use. That's it for today's video. Make sure you drop a like if you want more of this type of content. For the question of the day, I want to know, which gun are you going with? The QQ9 or the QXR? Comment this emoji for the QXR and this one for the QQ9. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.